Hello, my wonderful, amazing artists. It's me, Miss Abby, your art teacher, and I'm excited to announce that on my YouTube channel, through my partnership with the Elliott School and Lee Academy and Grew Elementary, we're trying something new. Every Wednesday is going to be Changemaker Wednesday. That's where we're going to learn about and celebrate a change maker in history, in our community, or in ourselves, and how we can become change makers ourselves. And we're going to start it off with getting inspired by Mr. Rogers. I am going to make a poster kind of like this one, inspired by Mr. Rogers' quote, "Look for the helpers." So Mr. Rogers was a television star on a 90s kids TV show on a PBS channel, the same as Sesame Street and Barney and Friends, and I think Sid the Science Kid. Anyways, I grew up watching it. Many of your teachers and grown-ups in your life probably saw it. And he was committed to social justice in that he believed that everyone was his neighbor and deserved compassion. And one important thing that he said, which I always tell you guys, is look for the helpers, like teachers and other people who are helping in their communities. And that's really important to identify. Who are the helpers around our neighborhood? So, today, I'm going to show you how I create posters that use text using watercolor and oil pastels, but you can use crayons too. Okay, so for this project, we're first going to think about, a quote. So a quote or a phrase that you want to write on your poster. It could be your name. It could be happy birthday. Maybe there's a message that you want your community to see, or your people, or something like that. Maybe you want to say something with your art. So think about that message. It could be one word, and that's totally cool too. Sometimes that's really powerful. It's up to you. And then I recommend getting a piece of scrap paper like this. That way you can practice, check your spelling, make sure you've got it right. And we want to use a pencil and an eraser. That way. Then we're going to practice our writing. We're going to practice what we're going to say and slow down and pay attention to the letters. And we want to make sure that there's enough space. I wrote down, look for the helpers. Oh, I should write Mr. Rogers so we know who said it. Now, I'm going to double check using my phone to make sure I spelled Mr. Rogers' name right. Because it's okay if you don't know the answer to something. We live in a world with the internet, and we can just check and look it up. I'm going to write it big on my sketchbook paper. Ta-da! I carefully wrote it out, and as you can see, I fixed it, and trying to make it better, I drew lightly with pencil. Okay, so I got my oil pastels. Now, you can use crayons for the same thing, because they're pretty similar. Okay, so this is my writing, my quote that I chose from Mr. Rogers. Also, maybe there's something important to you that you care a whole lot about. This is also a way to spread important messages that people need to know. That's how they can become a change maker using your art. So mine says, look at the helper. But what if you wrote something like, take care of the earth? That's a change maker message. Or everyone is equal. Okay, so I swapped my oil pastels for my watercolor paint set. Mine looks like this. A lot of people have the watercolor set that's long and skinny. They're all great. Watercolor pencils are pretty cool too, if you've ever seen those. Give those a look. And I also have a scrap paper and a cup of water. I'm going to put the scrap paper under the cup of water. Okay, now we're going to take our brush, and I'm doing an abstract design. We're going to dip our brush in the water so that it's wet, but I don't want to see any of this or any of this. That splatters the water, and it doesn't really help us. What you really want to do, if your paintbrush is drippy, just wipe it on here. Then you're going to draw a circle on top. You hear that scratching noise? Then dip in the water and put more water on your brush, and you can use that water to spread out the watercolor paint. Dip, dip, dip. Now, friends, what if we want to mix the colors and blend them and experiment that way? I know you all love doing that. We're not taking our brush and running up and down the lines of color. We are layering colors on top of each other. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to layer some magenta, this lovely magenta pink color, over the purple, and that way we can layer on top, and the colors will fade into each other. Think like tie-dye. Ta-da! Here's my watercolor and oil pastel drawing today using text. I did Mr. Rogers inspired, but try writing something you care about. It can be 1 or 2 or 3 words. Doesn't have to be a lot. Sometimes the most important messages are very short. And express and use your art to express what you care about and what you're thinking about right now. That way, what you're thinking about, what you care about, can go from inside of your mind and inside of your heart to out in the community to inspire others. Have fun making art today. Take care of yourself, and remember, your teachers are here for you and they want to be helpers to you. So let us know if you need something, okay? Bye. Have fun making art.